Hi, this is Doug from Northwest Redworms and Insects at Large. It's been a while since I've posted any videos, and I figured, well, it's about time to get started. To start out, I'm going to look at last year's wood pile and this year's wood pile and my solution to that. So this is what's left of last year's wood pile, and we covered them with tarps, and that didn't really work because the rats would get underneath there and make little holes, which didn't do well for our wood. This year's wood pile is a little bit bigger. We've already taken a couple cords off of it, stacked it into the carport. But as you can see behind the wood pile, we are starting a new woodshed. I recently got to tear down a metal building, a 24 by 48, and I'm going to be making a almost 24 by 24 woodshed here, 10 foot tall. Most of the tall beams weren't tall enough, but we did get two good 6 by 6 beams, and good old Home Depot's not got the supply for 6 by 6s, so now we're using 4 by 6s. Over here, this is where we're pre-posting the posts or the beams on the trusses, and I'll stand them up with the tractor. I'll show you a picture in the video soon of how we did that. Prior to putting up the posts, we squared off an area and put in brackets. And now that's our first truss up. And we'll show the progress of how this is going. Okay, so I'm about to pick up one of the trusses with my with the posts on it, and they're going to sit at 10 foot high. So what I'm doing, my tractor has a 7 foot reach with the forks, and so I'm going to put this pallet on the forks, which will give me a 10 foot reach, and it'll also have 6 inches or 8 inches of the fork sticking through to pick up the truss with. Okay, so we got them into position, and the next thing I'm going to do is put in some braces to make sure I can keep my spot so it doesn't fall. Okay, so our brackets are in place. Our post is in the socket. Okay, we'll lift it a little. Looks like I gotta put a nail in it. Okay, so once I got the post nailed just tacked in there, I was able to back up and straighten them up. Now I'll put another brace in there going the other direction so I can take the tractor out from underneath it. And then we'll work on getting it in place and leveled. Okay, so I lowered the forks on the ladder up. Once I got all the brackets in, I brought the forks down on the tractor, and it's now freestanding. It's not leveled yet. It's not brought down to the bracket. I'll get all that done, and then we'll start hooking it up to the other part of the shed so I can use the pieces to get up the last wall. Going very smoothly. Okay, so I've gotten this side all level, straight up and down, and I put in my cross pieces and secured them, so now I can take down my braces on this side, and I'll do the same on the other side. Then I'll be ready to put up the next truss. Now our two trusses on posts are level and secure. These boards right here will hold them in place until I get it connected to the next piece, and that's what I'm doing next. We'll get that right up. Okay, my next step, as you can see, I put some cross pieces in, and I'm going to be resting the 2x6s on top of them to nail them in so that I can get this done myself. It's all squared up, but it's still a little wobbly. So once I get these boards up, and then once I get the sheeting on it, it'll all be nice and sturdy. And then I'll get to work on the ceiling or the roof. All right, the first set of 2x6s are up. As you can see, I used my little brackets here to hold them up while I was nailing. And what I'll do is I'll shift the brackets on the right over to the post on the left so I can do the next set, and then I'll do the next side after that. I've been able to get a few hours of work done on this each day, and I've got all my rails up for the paneling on the sides, on the three sides, and I started to do the roof. The trusses already had some 2x6s sticking up to put the cross pieces on. So it made it pretty easy, and hopefully that'll line up the holes that's already in the sheets that I have. So I've got half of the roof framed, and then hopefully I'll get this other half done soon, and then I can start putting up all my sheeting. All right, I just finished the roof framing, it went up pretty nice. Now the next thing I do is the siding and then the roof. We'll piece it together slowly. We're getting it done. Most everything fit into place. Little gap on the peak there. I always throw a piece of plywood up to connect them if I need to. I don't think I need to. Okay, so the siding went up well. The roofing went up easy, but the holes didn't line up as good as I had hoped, so we ended up throwing up a lot of extra boards underneath to patch the holes. Like that. And I spent a couple days on getting the wiring in here. Over here in this corner we have an extension cord coming in to an outlet, and then the wiring come out for the lights. And all I gotta do now is put some pallets down and start loading wood in here. That's what this is for. Fun little project. Turn the scraps of a 24 by 48 shed into a 21 by 23 foot shed with some modifications because of the way we had to take it apart and the way it went back together. And we got a little extra to do some other projects, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching.